Hi guys, welcome to Beer Time. Kyle here. Let's do some day drinking. I've got a double dose of Deathly Doom. So, I have two beers today. I'm excited to try both. It's going to be exciting. Over here, I've got, which is going to be a really big beer. It's from Stone. I'll talk about it in a little while after we wet our whistle with this guy. So here's the thing. I was given this beer. You'll notice it doesn't have any fancy package on it, but this is on purpose and I want to talk about this. This is from a fella named Chris Cade that's got a shop called AWESOME Brew Shop in Johnson City, around where I live. And this is the farmhouse ale with orange blossom and honey. He tells me that it's got Cascade, Amarillo, Mandarina, and Bavarian hops in it. 6.8% bottled with Brett. And you're probably thinking, Kyle, why are you telling me about this beer? Why are you, doing this when I can't have it? And that's kind of interesting. Guys that, start up these breweries, they all start somewhere. They're basically home brewers, and they're very passionate. And I would argue, and I'm pretty passionate as people know about beer, but I'm sure they're more passionate than even I am. Crazy almost. And that's all right, because it's that kind of crazy chemistry that gives us this wonderful libation, and I'm kind of excited about it. I'm going to pop this open. This thing has got some bread in it, which is going to probably push it. That Belgian farmhouse ale is going to make it a little funky and interesting. Maybe give it some barnyard notes, whatever. But it's got a lot of different hops in there. I'm going to pour it slowly because it's got some of the bread in the bottom. And today I'm using a glass that I haven't used in a little while. But this is for what you would consider more like a farmhouse ale or a golden ale from Belgium. And I'm just going to pour some of that in here. I don't want to disturb what's in the bottom. And I really don't know what to expect here. I love the fact that he's using that orange blossom honey in there. Maybe that'll come through. And you know what? The thing about homebrewing is sometimes this thing works out and sometimes it doesn't. And that's what's hard. Sometimes it just kind of go bad. But what I like about Chris is he's so detail-oriented. He's also down at his shop on particular like today, which is a Friday, and then Saturday, they've got stuff going on downtown. And so he's actually in front of his building putting on displays on how to do this stuff, and then sells people the ingredients to make their own beer. Really empowering, super cool. It's awesome. It smells great. It's smooth and creamy to the eye, and also to the palate. There's this kind of very, I'll say, kind of creamy note that I get this kind of vanilla. And you know what? That orange blossom honey, it's in here, but it's very subtle. And the effervescence in this is super elegant. I mean, I'm looking at this right now, and to my eye, and that's not what's on the screen, but it's very pale, and it's just beautiful. Well, I tell you what, if people could make beer like this every day, they'd probably be a lot more homebrewers out there, because this is kind of fantastic. It's complex. There is some honey, orangey notes in here. Kind of, not as much kind of barnyardy, kind of funky stuff as I thought there might be. But there's some almost champagne notes to the nose that kind of come through, and the bubbles really represent that. It's a very active, clean beer, visually interesting. I don't normally think about that when I think about a homebrewed beer. I think about something a little bit more rough and ready. But that's not what I've got here, I got to tell you. So anyway, this guy right here, this farmhouse ale with orange blossom honey, this is a great recipe. I'm sure you could get this from Chris Cade at the AWESOME Brew Shop in Johnson City, Tennessee. You might, if you want the recipe for this, you probably could like him on Facebook and get this right up in a hurry. This is fantastic. I've been given beers in the past that I've had, and they're like, well, it's not that great. And I'm like, I have one, and I'm like, I have 5, and I'm like, they hang around a little bit. They like they get dust on them in the fridge, which is unfortunate, but nobody wants to throw the stuff out because they spent so much time making it, and they put so much energy and heart into it, and you have to like that. So this is a super awesome foodie beer. This is kind of amazing. This thing would go great with an assortment of cheeses. I would even say things like barbecue. It's almost too good to, even though pizza's like the best food on the planet, it's almost like too elegant to have with it. It's just great. But anyway, obviously I'm kind of gushing on it, but it's just so damn good. I'll move on to my next beer. This is great. I'm going to drink this down. But I got this too. This is going to, it's not going to hurt. It's going to be great. So what I've got right here is an offering by Stone. It's a different version of the RuinTen Triple IPA, right? So why don't we just make it like a quadruple IPA? Anyway, so it's got tons and tons of hops in it, supposedly, but this thing takes it a step further. It says it's a mosh pit of hops, orange peel, and vanilla beans. Mosh, right? So what we're going to do is open this up, and we're just going to let it mosh its way into my belly and into my heart. See how it goes. It's a big beer. It's running in at 10.9%. That's a big beer for 9 o'clock in the morning, but who cares? Oh, I found this guy right here. My old trusty left glass from Belgium. Thanks, wife. You're the best. Wow, that just fills all the way up. Cool. You know it's Friday when the bomber comes out. So this is just a super, like a dark copper starburst orange. It's like kind of vivid in a way, but also kind of dark. And I know you kind of, on the screen, it's kind of that way, but I can see the light coming through it this way. It's got a head that's not completely white. It almost looks like vanilla. And on the nose, it is rich. There's a bunch of imbalance hops in here. It doesn't smell like a hops bulldozer, but it smells like sweet hops. And that's that alcohol in there in collaboration with that. A little bit of vanilla, but lots of orangey West Coast style hops. And, you know, that's kind of exciting. Damn. That's like a really big beer, dude. And a really imbalanced beer. This is a great beer. I love this beer. Man, there's a lot going on. You know what? When I say this thing has got, you know, orange peel and vanilla bean in it, you're like, you know what, dude? That's like creamsicle. You know what? You're right. It is like creamsicle. There's like this creamsicle thing going on in there, which should be awful with this, right? It's not awful. It's not awful at all. And I love that. The bubbles on top of this are just oily. You could see the resinous hops just translated into those bubbles. It looks like there's an oil slick of bubbles on the top of here that I love seeing all those rainbow of colors in there. It tells me there's a lot of hops in here. And because there's so much hops in here, and I'll still tell you, in some ways it's a very smooth beer, again, I just think it's in balance, you know? It's got the oranges in it. The vanilla just rounds it out beautifully. This is a beer that they should just make all the time. And doesn't that really get in your craw when you find something that's just so good, you know, you just can't have it. It's just like a magical unicorn, and it's only here for a minute, and then you saw it, and then nobody believes that you saw it because it's not here anymore. I had that beer, dude. It was amazing. Oh, that's good. I'd love to get it. You can't. I don't know if they'll have it anymore, but that always happens. It really grinds my gears. I got to tell you, this is a good beer. So this is Stone RuinTen Triple IPA, a mosh pit of hops, orange peel, and vanilla beans. 10.8%, and it's got this, you know, long essay on the back, but I don't have time for all that. I think you can get out and find this still in your better beer store. I bought this online, you know, because I couldn't find it, but I bet you can find it. And then what you need to do is you need to reach out to Chris Kate for this recipe if you're a home brewer at the AWESOME Brew Shop and order some of this stuff. If you're local, go make it. It's like kind of an amazing beer. You know, I think this would be great for Thanksgiving. I think it'd go great with turkey dinner. It's awesome. I'm going to drink it. I don't care. Sorry you can't get this, but I'm sure he can help you out with the ingredients. This right here, go out and get some. I hope you have a great week. Get out, do some home brewing, have a good time. Get out, get yourself a triple IPA because that's what you need. You know what? It's the end of the week. It's time to do some day drinking. It's time to do some night drinking. It's time to work on your night moves. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I hope you all have a great beer time. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.